The two tools that we have at the moment are GitHub Copilot inside of Visual Studio and Copilot, which is the Office version. GitHub Copilot, if I had to give it a rating out of 5, I would probably say it's about 2 out of 5. And the reason why it's so low is a combination of Copilot and Visual Studio limits what you can do, and I will show you later on what's possible using other tools. And also, it is great for autocomplete. It can write small routines really well. Once you learn how to use it, so for instance, if you make a routine and put lots of comments in, the autocomplete works extremely well. It can take a lot of code that you can pass into it, and it can then analyze it and explain it. It writes functional specs quite well. So it's got its benefits, but where it falls over is it has a lack of memory. Which this means if you're working on a proper complex issue, so you've got code and it could be a system problem, it could be a code problem, it could be many different places. GitHub Copilot might come back to you, and rather than guiding you through it step by step with the most obvious solutions first, it will come back and it may give you 6 or even 9 separate possible solutions, which is just throwing information at you. And you might work on the first 2 of them, realize they do not work, tell it they do not work on the next 2, realize they do not work, tell it it does not work, and then it may end up telling you to do the first 2 solutions again. It goes round in circles. It feels like they've limited the context size or tried to get it to stick to a small context, and it's forgetting stuff, which is really awkward. I've worked on problems which, when I've worked on the equivalence of living at home, I might be solving in half an hour, and I've spent 4 or 5 hours working on it at work, because it's not remembering, it's not guiding you through, it's not working with you, it's just throwing information at you. The Office 365 Copilot is a much better system. I would give it out of 5 to start with, 3 out of 5, but I say we can increase that to a 5 out of 5 with just changing the prompts. We are using the corporate version. The corporate version has no personality, is overly positive, is limited on how it interacts with you, and a lot of these things make sense. We wouldn't want people to spend hours just chatting to the AI. But what we can do is we can modify the prompt and take it from just giving us answers to being a co-creator with us. And this is the main point of the whole video, is that we work with AI. We don't just give it a prod when we need a single answer on one specific problem we're stuck on. So what I'm going to cover next in the next part of the video is I will go through my current prompt, which I spent today working on, and then afterwards we'll go through step by step why each part is there. We'll look at the AI's responses and explanations and how it helps, and we'll show you how we can take something which is just giving you answers to something which actually really does help you and tries to make your work succeed. And if you walk away after that in the video, great, no problem, but please watch that bit at least. Also, I'd like to add that it looks like we haven't got the full version of Office 365 Copilot rolled out. So the full version will, when it uses MS Graph, blends in with Outlook and blends in with other programs, and it lets you query your email, it lets you look at your documents. I'm not sure if it's going to some managers and not other people. I personally do not need it, but if you're a manager and it could help you, it might be worth speaking to someone higher up to find out why you haven't got it.